Hey guys, how's it going? Kripparrian here. Today I want to give you guys one of the best decks that I have played so far, and it is Tree Druid, as my chat liked to call it, Vegan Druid. Yes, you just have a bunch of trees, and there's some pretty interesting history to this deck that's been developing already. So this is the deck list. I have the deck list below if you want to check it out. It is in fact one of the very best decks so far in this expansion. I am 86% win rate with the deck between the ranks of 3 and 2 on my climb to legend this month, so it is actually very good. It's actually a very viable deck, and right now it's kind in the stats end of things. It's considered a tier 2 deck, but the only tier 1 deck is Odd Paladin, so it's kind of like top 10 or so, but it's very competitive, and this version competes with the old version of Token Druid. It's kind of classified as Token Druid, so if you see someone is like, oh, I got legend with Token Druid, they're actually probably talking about Tree Druid. I don't know why they're considered the same ones, because they're not really that similar, but certainly there are some very interesting things that we have learned. And the main powerhouse of this deck is the card that we actually all rated absolute garbage. It is Treespeaker. Treespeaker is very strong, and what I have learned is that it's as a result of the very high stats of the trees. 5/5s is kind of like big minion category. I didn't think it would be, but it is. Right now there are aggro decks and there are like control decks, but the 5/5 stat line is just perfect because there's almost no board clear that actually gets rid of them. All while, they're just crushing those top minions, they're crushing those aggro minions, and if you're playing against a control deck, they typically have to use single target removal to get rid of each one, and that's just not a reality, which is why the deck does so well. So Treespeaker is the heart of the deck. It retroactively would rate it 5 stars, boys. 5 stars. Rastakhan's Rumble card, as it turns out. But yeah, so this version compared to the old version of Token Druid, they have very similar win rates, but my argument on why this deck is better than the old Token Druid deck, on one hand, I think people are still learning to play it, so the stats don't accurately represent the power level of the deck. I think the power level of the deck is higher than the stats represent right now. It can be a bit tricky to know when you need to push, how wide you need to go on your boards, and how resilient those 5 health trees really can be. On the other end, you're going to take a lot of people by surprise. It is a meta deck, but it is not a very popular meta deck, at least at the making of this video. So people are going to think you're playing, regular Token Druid. And when they think that, you're going to get a really big advantage, because regular Token Druid kind of thrives off of pushing wide boards of like 1 and 2 health cards. So when your opponent is going to assume you're going to do that, but then you actually turn them into 5/5s, they might be like making plays knowing that they have a 2 damage board clear to shut you down. But when that 2 damage board clear doesn't shut you down, they're basically going to line themselves up to lose that game. And that's probably why the results so far have been quite impressive. So give you guys the very best game I experienced with the deck. Once again, I do recommend this deck. Deck list is below. Let me know what you think and enjoy the rest.
My deck needs more protein. Oh yeah. Okay. Fine, let's ramp. Keeping UI was probably a bad idea in the last game, but whatever. We made it through. Nonetheless. Dex is a good boy. No, he knows better than to bark. And that was quite a confident bark there, Dex. Well, Tyrant's pretty good, I guess. Let's try the other way. Alright, not bad.
Mind if I roll need?
How much did he pay Nightbot? I'm guessing a lot, right? Has to be. I'm gonna do this, I don't know, maybe he's not running that many death rattles, so maybe in some crazy outside chance we could invalidate the death rattle draw. Game after Hearthstone, I don't know. Hearthstone's been pretty stable. I mean, yeah, it's not... It doesn't have quite at least the viewer base it did 2 years ago, but pretty close to like a year ago, honestly. Get destroyed by Holy Nova. I'm sure he's got it. I think it's best if I wait for like a turn 8 play with that. Or I could just slam it. I'm gonna slam it. Very likely it gets cleared, but if it gets cleared, we can do like poisonous on that, which is pretty good. Rip.
Out of my jungle! The circle of life is over.
Let's go with poisonous in this spot.
I see a vision in the flames.
Yep, Power of the Wild. Well, typically decks that run Spirit Lash also run Holy Nova, and Holy Nova cleared it in either case, so I wasn't going to double down on a 50-50 when I could just save that often game-winning card, right? Not worth it. There's no Nova in some of these. Okay, interesting.
Quickly.
Fine. I think you might even shuffle these into my deck. That would kind of suck, actually.
Light and rot. I speak for the tree.
He's gonna have to use a Psychic Scream. So, yeah. I'll do 5, guys. Let's see if you're right. No Nova, please. Oh, I'm sure he's got the dragon board cleared, though. Such bad plays. Well, I'm not even sure what my opponent's playing exactly, and I mean, I really have no idea what I'm playing. Oh. Nope. Top deck Dustbreaker. Fuck. Alright, let's see if we can dodge one. One more, that is.
Who dares naturally.
He still has one Psychic Scream.
Out of my jungle.
Costco brand. Nah, just whatever. I'm not really into branded water, but whatever we find at the stores, typically good enough. Oh no.
My thoughts are plagued.
Let's try to draw some here, I guess. Pretty good, I'd say. Yeah, just I don't think it's worth using removal on that.
Light and rot. Death is eternal. My turn is not.
Now he needs Psychic Scream again, I guess. Or he plays Amara. He does have Amara. Bad news for us, of course. But
You are safe now.
Yeah. Do swipe, swipe, hero power. That's 5 to the face on top of what's on the board. It's pretty good, actually. It's pretty good. I'm just thinking,
Tangled web.
if he did that, might want to at least armor up a little bit. Look at my deck right now. Double Savage Roar and a Treespeaker. Disaster. Okay, yeah. Yep. He has to use his last Psychic Scream here. By last, I mean third, unfortunately.
You are safe now.
I see a vision in flames.
Yeah, we got one more Amara, I guess. 150 HP priest balanced. Well, there's so many decks that kill you in one turn. I don't know. I mean, I don't know about balanced, but it didn't seem like that broken to me. I mean, priest I think is the worst win rate class by a lot, so whatever, let him have it. Still don't really know his win condition. He's used all sciences defensively, so I don't know. I can guarantee a Savage Roar draw. There you go.
I'm out of cards.
How much is that? Savage Roar adds 14, so I need 19. Have it. Oh my god, so broken. Priest, nerf Priest. Please nerf Priest, Blizzard. Does anyone have the nerf hotline for Blizzard? I need him to nerf some Priest, because that guy just had way too much HP, even though he just lost to 100% win rate. Vegan Tree Druid. Alright.